Yo, what up, basketball card collectors and investor friends? Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana at 6:43 a.m. It's a super rainy, nasty weather day, so I thought it was a good time to come in early to the office and push out some content and shoot this out to you. This is episode number 4 of the weekly series Explore the Card, where we take a deep dive look at Michael Jordan inserts and parallels from the 1990s. Today we're looking at an insert, the 1995 Flair New Heights, number 4. As always, we're going to primarily use Card Ladder to take this deep dive. And without any further ado, let me get you started. As always, we start with a few general facts about the set itself. This New Heights set is an insert set, and like many sets, insert sets from the 90s, it's a 10-card set, and like many insert sets from the 90s, it's actually listed in alphabetical order. Two of the most notable members of this New Heights set are Michael Jordan and Anthony Penny Hardaway. One interesting fact about the 2002 New Heights set is that there is actually a retro set. So like many of the most popular 1990s insert sets, retro sets were released in the 2000s, the early to mid 2000s. So there's actually a 2002 Flair New Heights retro set that includes Kobe and Jordan. This is fascinating, and I know retros don't have the same allure as the original, but only 22 of the cards from that retro set for Kobe and Jordan have been graded. So just something to think about. I'm not out here giving investment advice, but that piqued my interest. I don't really collect retros like retro PMGs and things like that, retro jambalayas and all that, but I kind of try to stick to the original. But that's pretty interesting. Only 22 of the Kobe and Jordans have been graded from that 2002 Flair and New Heights retro set. So just something to think about and something to check out. 5 of the 10 players in this 1995 New Heights insert set are Hall of Famers. The Chris Webber is, and this is really strange because I think newly inducted Hall of Famer, the Chris Webber New Heights insert has never been graded by PSA. Another interesting fact. So the other 9 players have been graded, but Chris Webber has not. Looking at the PSA and the BGS pops, there's 332 total graded New Heights inserts by PSA amongst all 10 players. Out of the 332 that PSA has graded, 85+% graded are Jordan. So only 15% of the cards graded by PSA are non-Jordans, the other 9 guys, or the other 8 guys, since Weber's never been graded. 253 have been graded by BGS, so a little bit less, about 80 cards less than what's been graded by PSA. But here's an astonishing number. 97% of the New Heights insert cards from that set that have been graded are Michael Jordan. So if you're looking to collect the New Heights set in either PSA 10 or BGS 9.5, I would try to go find another set, unless you plan to buy a hell of a lot of raw ones and send them into PSA and hope for 10s. They're just not out there, especially in the BGS. Moving on, the New Heights inserts were inserted into second series 1995 Flair hobby packs, 1 in 18 pack odds. Rookie mistake, which means that the card was for the Jordan, it's 1 in 180 pack odds. New Heights features a beautiful, as you can see, a beautiful, borderless, colorful, sort of like galaxy image of Jordan in his red jersey, shooting what, might be a reverse layup, might be an inside hand finger roll, wearing the Jordan 11 Concords. For all you sneakerheads, the Jordan 11 Concords were a pretty big deal and one of the most popular Jordan shoes there. I know there's actually people out there who collect, Jordan cards displaying certain, retro Jordan models. And the 11 Concords are obviously extremely popular amongst sneakerheads. The most notable unique feature of this card, what kind of sets it apart from other inserts from the 90s, was, I think, first referred to on the old, let's do a little throwback time machine to the pandemic and even before, what I think Christina and Chris and Brian on House of Jordans used to refer to as Ghost Jordans. So you can see, we've got Jordan in the primary image and then 3 trailing Jordans right behind him. There's actually, 4 total images of Jordan on the front. So 4 Jordans for the price of 1. Anyway, that's kind of what makes this card stand out and makes it super cool. The back has actually 3 Ghost Jordans in a white uniform. And on the back, Flair, interestingly enough, refers to Michael Jordan, this was in 1995, as the Wayne Gretzky of basketball. So for all you hockey collectors, who comes to mind? Jeremy Lee from Sports Cards Live comes to mind. That's an interesting fact for you. So Flair decided to call Jordan the Wayne Gretzky of basketball. And I can't disagree. And I can also not disagree that Gretzky was the Michael Jordan of hockey. Either way. So moving on, let's look detailed at the pop reports, the total graded, the gem percentage, the sold prices, and some comps and some changes over the past year and things like that. We've got the PSA 10 pulled up here. Let's talk specifically about the PSA 10. 83 is the pop. Okay, so you'll see on Card Ladder, you can always check the pop of PSA 10. You can click this little button here, and it actually shows you the growth of the population over time, which is fascinating. A lot of people don't know about this little facet on Card Ladder. You can see the population, let's see, what is that, since April, has gone up 6. Okay, so there's 83 total graded. It kind of gives you a month-by-month change or week-by-week change sometimes. But you can see, obviously Last Dance gave rise to an influx of cards to PSA during that pandemic time. It's taken them a year. And so, whatever, over the last year, it looks like, total submitted, has gone up. It's gone up 6 in PSA 10. You can check it for other grades as well. Card Ladder's estimated value on here is 2,046 with a 3 on the confidence meter. The last one sold for $2,000 on October 25th. The highest sale this card ever reached was $4,100, as you can see on our fancy Card Ladder graph here, on April 15th, 2021. So really, that's after the spike. I mean, to be quite honest with you, I think most cards spiked right here. So I don't know why this one was late to the game. It missed that late January, all of February, crazy, massive middle finger spike. This middle finger comes in mid-April. So 4,100 is the highest comp ever, which has been vetted by Card Ladder, so it's legit. Of the 83 graded PSA by PSA 83 graded PSA 10, that's a 29% gem rate. 12 PSA 10s have sold in the last year. So if you're looking to pick this card up in a PSA 10, which I highly recommend, because I put this card in the low to mid end, low to mid end Jordans, with a couple other cards like Warp Speed and Quicksilver and stuff like that. This is a card you can find once a month, basically, is what it's looking like in PSA 10 condition. If you want to know the average price over the last year, you can see it right here. It's $2,145. The lowest it ever got was $1,300. I haven't looked at it. It looks like it dipped and 3 in a row sold here, and now it looks like it's back on the uptick pretty significantly over the last 2 sales. So that's a good sign for the movement of the card. Getting over to BGS 9. Okay, so this card in BGS 9. Some of you guys are BGS collectors. I love the BGS slabs as well. And if you're looking to collect and you're not worried about having the most valuable version of a card, BGS 9.5s is an amazing way to grow your collection at a faster clip, especially with 90s Jordan inserts and parallels compared to the PSA 10, because you're not paying the massive premium. So if you look at it, the PSA 10, what did we say? Card Ladder had it. Last one sold 2,000. The BGS 9.5, 875. So you got a ratio. You could pick up 2 9.5s for the price of a 10. And again, remember, subs obviously dictate, the actual sold price to a great degree. So there's a big difference between a quad gem or a gem plus and then a min gem. But 875 is the last sold price. Card Ladder, doesn't get into what subs would sell for what, but they've got on here an approximate value of about 880. So you're looking at probably a 2 to 1. Remember, BGS has actually graded a little bit fewer than PSA, and they've given more gem mint grades. So 131 have graded BGS 9.5 out of about 245 graded. So you're about 50-50, a little bit right at near 50%, for your pop on the BGS 9.5. One thing I did notice, I messaged Christina and we kind of talked about this a little bit because I was noticing some disparities between BGS pop rates on Card Ladder and BGS pop rates on the Beckett site. And then she actually dug a little deeper. There's a disparity between, if you look up your Beckett graded card by serial number, the pop report and the number of BGS 9.5s on that serial code number lookup is different than if you just plug the card in and look under pop reports, generally speaking. So it was off by 7. So we're not sure. My guess, and I think Christina concurred, that the difference between those two pages within Beckett is they probably just didn't update the general pop report as quickly. And so there must be some type of lag over at Beckett, which is not really surprising because they're not the swiftest and the most tech savvy and the most up to date. But there was a little difference of 7. So one page said there's 124 BGS 9.5s. The other page said there was 131. Again, not a big difference. Doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but just something to keep in mind if you're looking at pops, especially if it's like a pop 4 or something like that. It might be pop 4 on the general pop report that you see on the Beckett page, but if you plug in the serial number, if it's pop 8, well, now your pop just doubled. It's something to just kind of keep in mind. There might be a little lag or a little delay in updating the general pop report page on the Beckett website. So the last BGS 9.5 sold for $875. These the highest sale ever for this card is $1,300. You can see it happen right when we expected to see it. Late January, early to mid February when everything went bananas. This card sold 9 times in the last year, so a little bit less common despite being more having higher supply than the PSA 10. Again, that's not a year for a card that's, only got 200 total between BGS 9.5 and PSA 10, 21 sales. If you want to get the card in gem mint condition, you can go get it. I haven't looked, but I'm guessing if I go, onto eBay right now and I plug in 1995 New Heights, I'm probably, let's see what comes up. Yeah, so we got one for sale for $9,000. Thanks, eBay. What if we plug in BGS 9.5? What do we got? Nothing. Okay, so none for sale right now. That's probably a good sign for the market. Again, there's only 200 of them in the world between the two gem mint grades from these two companies. And I feel bad. I'm always leaving out SGC, which I think is the next and only reputable grading company right now. I just don't collect the things. I personally don't like the slabs. I know some people call them tuxedos and they love them. I get it. I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about them as a company. I just don't like the look of it, and I'm OCD. And so my entire collection is BGS and PSA. I don't own a single card in any other slab. That's just Cajun Cardboard. That's just me. I'm not saying all the other stuff is trash, especially SGC. I know it's valid. I know they've been around. I know they were huge in the vintage world, and I know they're growing in the modern. So I don't want you guys to think I'm, I guess admonishing SGC or ignoring the fact that they're relevant and valid. I just don't include it in these searches because it's not easily accessed as far as the data goes. But let's keep moving on. Let's move down to the PSA 9. If your budget doesn't permit you to chase one of the gem mint conditions, if $1,000 or $900 is just too much for a Flair New Heights, but you want to add one to your collection, PSA 9 is probably the route. That's kind of the sweet spot. There's 127 PSA 9s out of 285 graded. So that's a 45% gem rate. If you combine the PSA 9s and the PSA 10s, you're looking at 74% of the graded Jordan New Heights by PSA are either 9s or 10s. So this is a card you kind of want to stay away from the 8. I think damn near every card is going to grade an 8. So you're probably going to want to look at a 9 minimum because you can pick up a 9. The last one sold for $535. If we go down here, the average sales price is $567. And then, a beautiful thing about the 9. So let's quickly flip back here. So look at the BGS 9.5. Over the last year, okay, you can see those 9 sales, the rate of growth for the BGS 9.5, it's down 33%, which is nuts to me. The PSA 10 is exactly where it started, which is interesting. So it started at 2000, it middle fingered later than we expected. And then a lot of other sales, 10 sales in between. And then it comes right back home to 2000. And so over the last year, this card hasn't moved at all. It's an exactly 0.0%, which is nuts. But look at the PSA 9. So I think, the relative scarcity of one per month for the PSA 10 becoming available, on all, this is across eBay, auction houses, everything. I mean, you're talking about 12 sales of a PSA 10 over the last year. So PSA 9, I think, has become, a target investment. I think maybe it was undervalued. So it started at $380, and it now, it looks like the average price is about $560. It doesn't sound like a lot of bucks, but it's what, $187 increase on a $380 card. That's a big ass percentage, and that's where you get 41% growth rate. So just something to keep in mind. Again, it's a pretty steady number here. So if you can pick this card up for, anything in the $500 range, great investment. I think that's just me. There's only 127 of them. There's only 83 PSA 10s higher. I don't think this card is going to go nuts on the pop report at any point. I'm sure a lot of people are still sitting on PSA orders where they sent it in. So there's going to be more. But man, look, 5 years from now, I don't think that the increase in supply can possibly keep up with the increase in demand. And I have that perspective on all Jordans that are, low pop. When I say low pop, I mean reasonable pop, stuff under 200, specifically stuff under 100. So that's why I would chase the PSA 10 personally. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting, disparity between the growth rate. PSA 10 is flat. BGS 9.5 is a super minus 33%. Again, these aren't huge sample sizes. The PSA 9 is a pretty healthy sample size of 18 sales. It's up 41%. And if we throw out the middle finger graph, man, it's a pretty decent number. So 500 is kind of your target number. If you can snatch one for 500, you should be feeling pretty good for yourself. I'm not going to go into details about the BGS 9, the PSA 8, or the BGS 8.5. There's 84 BGS 9s out there. There's 64 PSA 8s out there. Like I said, my best advice, and I don't give advice often, but if you got $500, get the 9. Definitely don't mess with the 8. And if you can get to $2,000, go grab the PSA 10. It's a low to mid insert. These are the types of inserts, I am in my personal collection. I gotta have them in PSA 10 or BGS 9.5, because that's where the scarcity is. That's where I think the long-term growth is. And I just don't think the premium is that great to go from 500 to 875. Like if you're gonna buy a PSA 9, just go ahead and buy the BGS 9.5. It's an extra $300. I mean, just knock it out. Anyway, moving on. There's 2 BGS 10s out there. Okay, comment below. Let me know, what do you think a BGS 10 would be worth? There's only 2 of them. That makes it significantly different than the PSA 10 and the BGS 9.5. There are 0 black labels, so no comments below what a black label will be worth unless you want to. I'm always willing to listen. I think it's fascinating to hear what people think about that multiplier for a BGS 10 or a BGS black label. The card ladder predicted value for the BGS 10 is 2514 with a very low 1 confidence meter. And I think that's, as you can see right here, 2,500. The last BGS 10, like we said, there's only 2 of them. The last one sold in 2016, 5 years ago, $200. Wow, wouldn't it be nice to have that time machine that baseball card collector, investor, dealer Chris is always talking about? So they think 2,500. I actually think significantly more. I think it would probably be worth more like 4,500 to $5,000, just because there's a pop 2. Going back, let's talk about the gem rate. BGS, obviously, as we talked about, is more lenient than PSA as far as giving out gems. There's 124 BGS. There's 83 PSA 10s. The combined gem rate between BGS and PSA is 39%. So if you're buying this card and looking to send it raw to one of these 2 and you think it looks great to you and has a chance of gemming, you're looking at a 4 out of 10. Okay, if you send 10 of them, you probably get back 4 in BGS 9.5 or PSA 10 if you split it evenly. There's a 2.7 margin right now between PSA 10 and BGS 9.5. So that begs the question: you want 2 BGS 9.5s or do you want 1 PSA 10? This is the question that arises in the hobby, and it's just a matter of preference and what you think would be the best investment, and whether you think this disparity between 9.5s and PSA 10s is here to stay. It wasn't always here. Do you think it's here to stay? Is it going to shrink? Is it going to grow? Is it going to continue to grow at the massive rate that it's grown? Is one of your investment choices to look at the disparity between 9.5s and 10s on various cards across the spectrum and look for the ratio being too high and then pick up 9.5s? Are you a person that buys 9.5s and tries to cross them over? I don't know. Comment below. Let us know what you're doing. If you think there's an investment arbitrage to be had there buying 9.5s and either crossing them over or just holding them and waiting for the 9.5s to close that gap on PSA 10. That's a question and a discussion and a separate video topic that spans all the cards in the hobby, regardless of sport, regardless of product, regardless of age. Grade disparities and whether or not that gap is too much and whether there's an arbitrage to be exploited there. Like we said, if you're looking for a gem mint copy of this in either of the big two grading companies, you're looking at a little bit more than one on average, about almost 1.7 on average, 21 total between the two companies. Gem mint condition have sold in the last 12 months. It's an easy card to gem. Let's move on. So we always talk about my personal collection. Then we talk about buy, sell, or hold. And then we give it a number on the Cajun cardboard, Jordan card relevance scale. So as far as what I own two copies of this card in PSA 10 condition. I owned 4 at one time because I thought it was too cheap with that 83 pop. And so bought 2 PSA 10s before the last dance, sold them sometime after. I don't even remember. Did very well on them, obviously, as everybody did who bought before, the pandemic, damn near any cards. So bought them cheap before the last dance and sold them. So right now I own 2 of these copies. I just really like this card. It's on my list of low to mid 90s Jordan inserts that I really love. This card, Quicksilver, Warp Speed, Anticipation, Hot Numbers, those types of cards are cards that those are the cards I fell in love with, during the pandemic when I was watching House of Jordans and watching, PSA sold videos on Jordan cards that were selling and things like that. That's when I fell in love with Jordan. I fell in love with what they look like before I knew much more about them. So it's a aesthetically pleasing Michael Jordan insert that falls into the low to mid price range, in gem mint condition. Some examples, I always like to give you some other options. Like if you're looking at this card, some other comparable options from a pricing standpoint. And again, these aren't going to be exactly equivalent value, but in the neighborhood is from the same exact set, the 1995 Flair Anticipation, the 1993 Skybox Premium Dynamic Dunks, which is a horizontal card, which is very hard to gem. I think that Dynamic Dunks card is very undervalued in gem condition. And then another third option is the 1998 Upper Deck Ionics Warp Zone. Not the Warp Speed that a lot of people are familiar with, but the 98 Upper Deck Ionics Warp Zone card in gem condition. Those are 3 examples of cards that are in the similar price range if you're looking to buy a Jordan insert. I don't think it's bad for an investment standpoint. As always, I look at the pop in the PSA 10 condition. If it's under 100, I feel very comfortable. I feel very safe. I feel very good from a long hold standpoint. I don't buy any Jordans to flip in the short term. When I invest in like modern shiny stuff and flip that short term to kind of generate profits to buy cards like this. I do buy cards like this to invest, as I just said, but it's not because I'm trying to sell them 60 days later. I just don't, you can't time the market with stuff like that, especially on, the GOAT and especially on cards that have been around for 30 years now. So it's not a bad long-term play for this card. If that's your kind of budget and that's where your investment sweet spot is about $1,000 to $2,000 because there's less than 100 of them in PSA and there's just over 100 of them in BGS 9.5. Okay, so getting to conclusion on the Jordan card relevance scale, Cajun Cardboard gives this a 4 out of 10. That's not how much I like the card. It's just on the scale of relevance. If you're building a Jordan collection and you've got a blank canvas, this card would be 4 on your 10-point scale regarding importance/relevance. Reasons why I give it a 4 out of 10. It's visually appealing, so that makes it that puts it on the scale and puts it on your radar. But the price is manageable, which means it is not difficult to obtain from a budget standpoint. So it's available to more collectors. And the pack odds are extremely manageable. 1 in 180 is not a high pack odds for a Jordan insert card from the 90s. So that's doable. And it's available. You know, this is a card where if you want it, it's yours in 60 days if you're willing to pay comps. You know, 21 between the two Gem Mint graders have sold in the last year. So more than one a month is available. If you really want the card, you can go get it. And so for that reason, I put it as a 4 out of 10 on the scale. And that's it, guys. So I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter, but here I am at 25 minutes again. And once again, I drank a C4 this morning and decided to come push out some content instead of doing push-ups and air squats and working out at the gym. Hope you appreciate it. Hope you'll comment. Hope you'll like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, this is episode 4 of Explore the Card. There's 3 other episodes. Go check them out. Let me know what you think, pros and cons. Just keep it clean in the comments. Can't tell you how much I appreciate all of you guys who have subscribed. I think I'm at 66 subscribers now, which is basically viral, right? I mean, I think that's like as viral gets. And so my joke is I don't have that many family members, so somebody must be watching just for the content. You're certainly not watching for the graphics or the video or audio. So hopefully what I'm saying is helpful to you guys. Here, let me move this over. Let me move this over here. So you guys, if you want to take a quick snapshot, this is just a little table for you guys. If you do want to look into grabbing this card, take a quick snapshot of the screen or screenshot this, and then use this for your own benefit. That's it, guys. I appreciate you watching. Hit the subscribe button in the bottom right. Hit the bell icons to get constant notifications. If you like the video, then hit the dang like button. It really helps me grow the channel and lets me know that I'm doing something right. I swear to you, I promise to you, I'm meeting with somebody with a big brain, a younger person who understands YouTube and video editing and things like that. So the quality of my audio and the quality of my video will get better. I just don't want to put content on hold while I figure that out. And so that's where that's going. If you haven't followed me yet on Instagram or Facebook, do so. It's Cajun Cardboard. I always respond to any direct messages on Facebook or Instagram. Any of my friends know that. Anybody in the hobby knows that who's ever messaged me before. I love talking cards. I can talk cards forever, especially Jordans, especially 90s stuff. So reach out and let me know what you think. And if you got any ideas for improving the videos or any content you want to see, in fact, now's a great time to tell you, let me know. If somebody lets me know in the next 48 hours what they want episode 5 to focus on, we'll pick that Jordan insert and we'll roll with it. Until then, just stay tuned and I'll keep posting on Instagram and Facebook and let you guys know what episode 5 of Explore the Card is going to be. The next episode of Basketball Card Battles drops every Monday. And so if you missed the last episode last week, it was the Jordan 9.5, 6 of them versus the Jordan PSA 10. Entertaining, especially if you're an 86 Flair collector or a Jordan collector or a Jordan rookie collector. So if you didn't see that video, go search for that one on my page under my Basketball Card Battles playlist. That was a fun one. So stay tuned and appreciate you guys listening and welcome your feedback. Peace.